There's a hugely dysfunctional part of our electorate that watches neoconservative elements in Congress short-circuit everything that the left is trying to do, and then blames the left for not being productive, using it as an excuse to put even more Tea Party neocons into power to gridlock things further. It's a cycle of irrationality that's going to take a major intervention to correct, and I want you to help me mount it. But first, I need you to recognize both what's at stake and what evidence there is that you can make a difference. So I just showed you how productive the left was when they were able to break the right's gridlock. What did the right do when they had full control over Congress and the courts for 6 years under President Bush? Well, they started wars. They enriched their cronies in the military-industrial complex by spending a ton of our money on weapon systems that even the Pentagon didn't want. And they gave a bunch of tax cuts to the wealthy, whose donations keep them in power by paying for attack ads and smear campaigns. Meanwhile, critical infrastructure like failing roads and bridges go neglected for another 2 years when we fail to get them out of office again. Then, when the left finally gets back into power and tries to fix all of those neglected things, the right screams bloody murder about deficits and the national debt. Today, the neocons have vowed to use their power to stall legislation, embarrass the president, and to hold the country politically hostage until we hand them back the reins. Well, my friends, we're not going to do that. We have major infrastructural problems, but there's also been huge shifts in social support for policies on things like gay marriage, immigration reform, and the legalization of marijuana. These are all things that could reduce human suffering and increase government revenues, and they need to be addressed. These next 2 years couldn't be more important to America and the world. That's because all of the money we spend on those bailout programs for Wall Street have to start bearing some fruit by then, or we run out of money to keep covering this recession. At that point, it becomes a full-blown depression, and then we're all in trouble. And we're likely to face the loss of at least one Supreme Court justice in that time, whose replacement will be named by President Obama, but who has to be approved by Congress. And that one seat could change the way that courts interpret law for the next generation. Now, I want to be clear. We could give the Senate to the left and even the House, and they could still completely blow it. They could spend too much or get too little for our money or generally just make us a laughingstock. It could happen. But the right had 6 years of unchallenged control of the Congress, the courts, and the White House, plus 2 additional years with a cooperative Congress. And that's to say nothing of the 6 years of virtual control they've had through their stonewalling and stall tactics. That's 14 total years of control to show whether or not their way works. And all they've shown us is terror and unending war. An American city left to die in a major natural disaster, and the near destruction of the entire global economy by their Wall Street buddies. Now I'm asking you as an American, as someone who loves fairness, be honest with yourself. Can't you give the left just 2 decent years to try to prove themselves? They can hardly screw up as much as the right has in the last 14. And, win or lose, we'll have the answer we want so badly. If the right failed, does the left have any ideas worth exploring? And if the answer is no, next election is for a new president. Throw out the left, throw out the right. Put independent or libertarian or green, whatever makes you happy. We'll take our chances. Until then, give the left a fighting chance to show you what they can do. Take the chains off their legs and let them run. Get your family, your friends, your neighbors, and your colleagues who've given up hope and aren't going to vote this season, and show them these videos, tell them the story, and get them out to the polls. And when they vote, we'll be sending out a message to the right, to the left, and to the world that will be heard loud and clear. The Tea Party's over. We expect our representatives to have character, to play fair, and to earn the money we're paying them in a time when so many Americans would do anything just for a job, serving coffee or sweeping floors. Tell the Republicans that we used to like and respect their party a generation ago when they had character and principles and honor, but today, not so much. Let's give them a time out. And then maybe in 2016 they can come back when they have some fresh ideas and some candidates worthy of considering and debating. Until then, let's register to vote, let's go out to the polls, let's elect their competition, and let's get them out.